Then right. Will is your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. And of course, good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to every single corner where our 100,000 watt transmitter transmits. 100,000 watt? Yes, transmits to every corner of Southeast, Northeast, Southwest Louisiana, Texas. Folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. Remember, hang around, stick around. Yes, I know you all know that we're in Fun Drive, and whenever we get there, you say, oh my God, they're doing it again. But remember what we're here trying to do the right thing. Folks, we're going to have a show for you today, but please go ahead and call into 713-526-5738 to make your contribution by hitting extension number 1. We're going to have a show though, so don't move. Stick around. We got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to discuss. But before we go any further, let's go to our geniuses in the studio. Good morning, genios favoritos. How are you guys doing this morning?
From down the street to around the world, it's KPFT Houston.
Man, that sounded like
Wow,
a real
man,
announcer.
that was beautiful.
Oh man, this I can do stuff like that, but I prefer not to because it doesn't
Uh,
sound real.
Actually, that was good. Well, it doesn't sound real because we know you, man. But I mean,
Oh
that
yeah, you
was
do.
that was boss, man. Anyway,
100,000 blazing watts across Texas. South Texas' biggest public station.
I love it.
We're doing okay. Having a little fun this morning.
Hey, we missed you
Jack,
yesterday, brother.
yeah, no, I had to go out and make some money.
There you go.
And speaking of money, folks,
Speaking of money,
yes, we are in Fund Drive, and yes, we hate it because we have to ask you for operating money. Other than that, this radio station wouldn't exist. It would not exist without your help. 713-526-5738 extension number 1. Donate to KPFT. Keep programs like Politics Done Right on the air. Keep programs like Jack's Corner on the air. Jack's
mm,
Wisdom needs to be funded. 713-526-5738 extension 1. Donate to KPFT. It's a good thing to do. And speaking of Jack's wisdom, let's see if he's got any today.
well, I got very little, but what it'll have to do.
Less
So
is more.
that's what they tell me.
That's what she told
Okay.
me.
Yeah, yes, the people are suffering from a Supreme Court decisions that granted corporate personhood and money equals free speech. If money equals power and power corrupts, then the people are basically beat by the Supreme Court in
Yeah.
the hip pockets of the morbidly wealthy.
Yeah, I was shocked about that particular decision. Well, yes, corporations are people. Well and good, we can sue them.
Oh boy.
And we do. Goodness. All right, that's enough of that.
well,
Egberto, your show, sir.
well, good morning, folks. We have with us already Alistair Waters is in the house, and we have Eric Hayes in the house. And Eric has a compliment for you. He said, "The Avengers voices." So I mean, man, let me tell you, coming from Eric, that's a tall order. So you hit the nail on the head. Anyway, folks, look, we need your support, and we have a great program. I want to talk about the price of medicines, etc. That issue that Bernie Sanders handled yesterday in the Senate, and it's something that I think you need to hear. You need to hear this stuff. But anyhow, um, uh, give us a call 713-526-5738 extension number 1 to donate. And we're asking for this because look, let's be honest. All of you that are listening to me, or those of you that are listening to me, many of you go ahead and you get cable, right? You have cable, and some of you pay, I don't know, $60 a month. Some of you pay $100 a month. I had a friend that told me, "Hey, Egberto, you know how much I spend a month on cable?" I'm like, "How much?" He said, $300 a month. I get this package, that package, this news source, that news source. And I wanted to say, well, there's this little station called KPFT. You could actually, maybe if you can do that, maybe give them a brick. Maybe that's $25 a month or $50 a month to do good and make sure that things go right. Then they say, like, I wanted to say that I didn't, right? But those are the kinds of things that I think of. We require so little, right? A coffee a month, like say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give KPFT, VF Politics Done Right, a coffee a month, a Starbucks coffee a month, instead of I'm going to miss one Starbucks coffee a month so that we can keep these kind of programs on air. Simple things like that. You can get a T-shirt, the Politics and Right T-shirt, $120 contribution. It's not worth the T-shirt ain't worth that, but it helps. Uh, we want to give you a token of our appreciation. You can give us $25 a month. You get a brick with your name forever on showing that you're a supporter of KPFT. You can give $50 a month for an 8x8 brick instead of a 4x4 brick. Show that you are a supporter of the program. You can give us anything that you want by just calling 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Anyway, I'm going to get into the program now, but beforehand, it looks like Harry gave us an early call. So, Harry, come on in before I start the program, brother. Talk to me.
Good morning, El Professor Roberto Willis. I called the member services business line like I usually do when I call Howard to request songs. I'm going to be doing a donation next week for KPFT. I'm going to be giving you guys $20. I'm going to try to do that more often in the future because we have to keep this, as Steve was asking me on Utah, Harry, why is KPFT important to you? Because of shows like Politics Done Right, because of your show, You Talk, because of Counterspin, because of Pan African Journal. Those are educational, edifying shows, and because of The Great Wide Open with Howard Reynolds' music and the music they play during the week. That's why KPFT is very important to me. But I also want to comment again on something that I said yesterday. Yeah, Amy Goodman has been suffering from COVID, and I do understand now she's on the mend, but she's not in studio hosting it. She is just doing pieces from her. They have her do segments like they did yesterday, but she is getting better, and I'm glad.
Recording in progress.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad El Professor, you, Berto Willis, try to get educated hard that people can still COVID, even though they've been vaccinated. I thought that was kind of low about the vaccination with Amy yesterday, and I hope he takes your advice to home, and then he will educate himself on that because people can still get COVID. I've had people get COVID still get COVID in my church who are vaccinated. The President Biden and his wife have gotten mild cases of COVID, even though they've been vaccinated. So I thank you, Roberto, for helping Bart out with that. And then I wanted to comment on what you guys were talking about with Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump, like I said, he's a misogynist. He violated the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. I think he should be taken off the ballot. But if he is not taken off the ballot, then it is our job, as you told me in the past, Roberto, to defeat him if looks like he will be the nominee in the general election.
Thank you very much, Harry, for listening. Thank you very much for the contribution that you intend to give to our program later on. Thank you very much for being an avid listener. And I'd like all of you to become our avid listeners and promoters of these programs that whose intent is solely to do good, to do right, and to make sure that we all realize that we are empowered. We just have to realize that we are empowered. We can't. I used to say a few years ago, actually about until I got schooled about a year and a half ago when I went to a conference and a guy said, Egberto, you can't empower anybody. People are already empowered. What you can tell them is you can remind people that they already have the power to do, they already have the power to change, they already have the power to do all these things. Humility, brother, humility. And so, what we are here to do is to remind everybody, those who need reminding, that we are empowered if we choose to use it, that we are knowledgeable if we choose to learn, that we can attain what we want to attain if we choose to work to move forward. And that's what we preach here. That's what we're all about. People have labels that they give. Oh, you liberal, you this, you that, you socialist, you all these labels they try to apply to many of us that speak on these issues. I can tell you the only label that I accept is a label that says, I want to make sure that one, everybody has access to success. Two, we acknowledge everybody's humanity. And three, we make sure that we have a system where nobody falls through the cracks. Otherwise, what is the purpose of society? The purpose of society is so that together, we can make things better than if we attempted to do it all alone. And the reality is, we can't do it alone. For those people who begin in rugged individualism, that is a definition of selfishness because you can't get rugged individualism. That really is a concept that allows for people to believe they're worth more than they are. There's nothing known as rugged. Look, I did a lot of things on my own. I read a lot on my own. I created a lot on my own. Really? I mean, if I believed in rugged individualism, I would believe that. But the reality is, I thank society for having given us the launching pad, given individuals a launching pad to be able to use their own intrinsic intellect to attain what they have. And until we learn to deprogram what we've learned about this rugged individualism bit and realize that we all need each other, no matter what, even that person on the street that you despise just because, that if you take a look deep inside, they're a part of this society as well. And believe it or not, I could tie a direct line between that person and you. So, um, anyway, so that's what we do here, folks. We try to enlighten, we try to build, we try to empower, well, not empower, we try to inform that folks are empowered. Notice it still comes off the tongue. That's that muscle memory thing, man. That muscle memory thing. But anyhow, folks, before I get into this form a bit, I want to ask you again to give us a call at 713-526-5738. And if you go ahead and support us while we are here on air, I will make sure to call you out and thank you on air right now. But whatever the case is, we'll find a way to thank you. So give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate, extension number 2 to be on air with me. Or you can go to kpft.org, kpft.org, and give us whatever contribution you feel will help us make a difference. Remember, as you donate, whether by phone or by website, kpft.org, to support us, let folks know that you're supporting in the name of politics done right, so that it'll be tallied appropriately with the show to make folks know that, yes, we are holding our weight here. So give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. All right. Title of the show today is Big Pharma Refused to Commit to Lower Prices, Nikki Takes on Trump Again, and Lankford Caved. In effect, the last two, I don't know if we're going to get to those videos, but let me just tell you that the first one of that says Nikki on Trump, she really says a few realities in that piece that I have, and the other one, Lankford caved. This is a very conservative senator from Oklahoma who helped write a new immigration bill, a good immigration bill from a conservative point of view. I don't agree with that bill, but to move forward, uh, Democrats were willing to go ahead and uh, give the Republicans in the Senate just about everything that they asked for. And I guess because they expected for Democrats to say no, they got shocked when they said yes, and they decided, Trump told them, don't take that deal. Do not do it. I want the issue to run on in the election. Well, Trump, you got the issue now. Let's hope that Democrats remind the American population that what they see at the border could have been mitigated absent Donald Trump deciding that he doesn't want to, that the border is nothing more than a joke. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that there was a caravan going from Virginia, I think it was West Virginia or Virginia, straight down to Texas. They were going to have a whole lot of Mack trucks and trailers and all these things coming down. The posse was going to be come down to fight at the border, to give mention to how bad things were at the border, and they got to the border. And well, it turns out that photos and media have a way that they can make things look a whole lot worse than they are. Not to say they aren't bad. There are days that a lot of people come over, but we have a over 1,000, several thousand-mile long border, folks. Right? We have a long, long border. And when it sounds like a 5,000 people are coming over, it sounds like you just have this wave of people, but not realizing that it's a big border, man, and it's a big country. It's a big border and a big country. And believe it or not, we can absorb a whole lot of people. We need a whole lot of people to keep our growth rate, right? But hey, facts don't matter to some people. Anyway, the caravan made it to Texas, and this woman decided now she is going to go to the place of maximal entry, and she went there, and she was completely underwhelmed when they interviewed her. What do you think about what she said? She said, I expected to see a lot more. I expected to see a lot more. So when you have people over here losing their minds, yeah, if you own a ranch and you have a trail of people day after day coming across that ranch and leaving plastic bottles and empty bottles and all kind of stuff there, yeah, you get upset, and as you should, you know. But when it's made into an issue that is larger than life, and you create, like when Texas goes ahead and flies people to New York and Chicago and all these other places, and then it looks like, oh, look at all these people that are coming over, as opposed to say, uh, there are thousands of communities in the United States who are willing to do their part for this migration that needs to be controlled. Yes, it does. There are thousands and thousands of cities. I'm talking about the United States, thousands of towns that can need to absorb all these people, towns that are dying throughout the country, right? But to make the case and to make it differently, what do? They treat the human beings that are coming over here like cattle, like animals, and then try to make an example out of them by throwing them into just 4 or 5 big cities controlled by Democrats to try to make a point, to try to show how evil they can be. These are the people that say they love Jesus Christ or Lord. These are people that say they love life, but somehow the things that they do, it's nothing that a Jesus Christ would do. Open your doors for the immigrant according to Jesus, right? But somehow they feel a certain passion in just turning the knife and throwing some salt in that wound of that person that made that long journey for several thousand miles on foot, on the back of a train, hanging on to a bus. You don't leave. Look, I'm from Panama. I'm from Central America. You don't leave your place in that condition. I came over here in a plane, all right? But I do have empathy for those who had to walk through Panama, the jungles of Darién. If you ever know what the jungles of Darién is like, you wouldn't feel that you wouldn't be able to talk to those people or treat those people or address those people with the evils in the heart, as many of our evangelical brothers and sisters who purport to love Jesus Christ and follow Jesus Christ. You'd never do the things or say the things that you do about these people. Anyhow, main subject. That was on the subject of Lankford, folks. You can go to politicsandright.com/newsletter to watch the videos. I think we're going to spend our time here talking about the big format and also pitching. I need you to call 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Hit extension 1, contribution. Hey, I have another offer here that I give all of the times for contribute. I hope they have it still on the website. If not, just tell them that is just put the amount for this show as for anybody who gives $250 dollars. I'm taking them for coffee, and we're going to sit down and talk rap anything you want to talk about. That's like again, just throwing myself out there to try to raise some money for the station. So if whoever gives 250 bucks, we're gonna go ahead and drink some coffee and sit down and talk. Personally, drive down from Kingwood to wherever you are so that we can meet. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. A contribution of $120. You get our T-shirt, the Politics and Right T-shirt, or any T-shirt that you want that we have, $120. Likewise, if you go ahead and if you want to immortalize yourself as as someone who supported our program, our station, $25 a month gives you a brick, 4x4 brick. $50 a month gives you an 8x8 brick. You can put an inscription of whatever you want on that brick. Folks, remember that. Likewise, you can give us a coffee a month, $5 a month, right? $10 a month, $15, whatever you can afford, just to make sure that you're doing good. You're making sure that we inform quite a bit of people. I mean, if you see some of the emails that I get, when somebody stumbles on our station, they say, "Wow, I didn't know that. I'm a forever listener now." And that's what they do. Okay, before I got to get to Big Pharma, but Joe is on the line, so let's go ahead and bring Joe in. Hi, good morning, Joe. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm all right. How about you?
I am doing fine, sir. Talk to me.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm no fan of big pharma either, even though that was a career path, a potential career path for me
Hmm.
in another lifetime. But you mentioned illegal aliens, and I remember that some time ago, right before I got on the bus, I asked you if the purpose of importing millions and millions of illegal aliens might be for redistricting purposes.
Hmm.
And you had and then I had to get on the bus and I couldn't really listen to the reply, but I caught the tail end of it. And I think you had a career Democrat on the show with you that day, and basically it sounded like you guys just wrote it off to the white replacement conspiracy theory, right, or the great replacement theory, or whatever and
Are
just
you
kind of
white?
blew it up. But
No, I don't mean to blow you off, and I would never blow you off, and you should know
it,
me
it
good enough by now.
it doesn't matter if I'm blue, right? But he basically shined it off like it was the great replacement theory, conspiracy theory.
Do
And
you do you? Can I ask you a
I did
question,
a little
Joe?
digging.
Joe, Joe,
Yeah.
I just need to ask you: do you really believe there's this great white replacement theory that we look at your white. Are you white, first of all? Let me ask you.
Well, yeah.
Okay, good.
But,
Stop.
but
Right. That's all I need to know. I just need to know this. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, Joe. Uh, I have nothing, and listen to me well. It's very important. I have nothing against white people because I think the concept of race is a rather stupid thing, right? And by the way, in my family, there are people of every race. I love them all dearly. I think this white thing is a stupid thing that I have to talk about because we're a racialized society. You're no different than I am. The difference is you have I have more pigmentation than you do, brother. That's the only difference between me and you.
yeah,
Okay, so
I misspoke.
do you believe that? First of all, do
I
you believe
misspoke.
that? Do you believe that, sir? That's what I'm saying. Do
The
you believe that? Do you believe you
the
and I are
so
the
I
same?
misspoke.
Okay, go.
Uh,
I'm
Well,
sorry.
yeah,
Go
we're
ahead.
both human beings, man. We're both human beings, and I wanted to get to the. Well, I didn't mean to say the word white. It was great replacement theory, is I believe is what it's being called, just so that people will know,
Uh-huh.
that's what pundits call. They're calling it, and they say it's a conspiracy theory, but and then it may or may not be. It's a conspiracy theory or whatever.
Hmm.
But here lately, it seems about 2/3 of conspiracy theories, give it time and they become fact,
Name me one.
Um, but
Name me one that
oh,
has become
hmm,
fact.
COVID wasn't made in a lab, right?
It
Or
wasn't.
the Russia, the Russian dossier from this spy is legit. Or Hunter Biden's laptop is a classic Russian disinformation piece, right?
Hmm.
Those are all lies that you perpetuate, right?
No. Okay. Let me just say one thing.
Anyway,
Did you have more to say?
yeah. Well, I wanted to get to the thing the reason I called and kind of took the focus off of Big Pharma, because really they really love to see those guys brought to heel as well. But they dismissed it as just some fringe idea. So I did a little searching, and you can't use Google for these things because Google is like a walled garden. If it's not inside the walled garden, well then it doesn't exist. But
Hmm.
apparently there is a congressman out of New York. Her name is Yvette Clark, and
Hmm.
she is she was caught on a hot mic saying that they need more illegal immigration for redistricting purposes, right? And so it's not just a conspiracy theory. These things, they make sense. Why are you going to import millions and millions of people, and it's for let's have the next census, and then let's redistribute the congressional seats, the representation based on all these new people, right, in all these Democrat controlled places.
Okay.
So
Now,
I
now
mean,
here's the thing.
you see how
Joe.
that is that
Joe.
crazy? Or I don't
No.
think so. Because now somebody
Joe.
has admitted that.
Joe, I need to go ahead and do a little bit of pitching, but beforehand, I just want to address you directly. That I don't know. I don't. It doesn't matter what you hear. What's that? Hello. Okay. It
No.
doesn't
I'm
matter.
here. I'll pitch with you, man. Hey, listen, if you work for Big Oil, you know what? Big Oil will match your contribution to KPFT. They match mine, right?
Did you donate to
In years
KPFT?
past, I would. Yeah, I'm a member of KPFT. I usually gave every year for on Rourke's show, Wide Open Spaces. This year, I'm kind of holding out for Clint, King of the Airwaves, Broussard. But if it comes down to it, if I can't catch him online, then I'll give to this show because unlike other people who talk here, I think that you consider what I say,
I
even though
absolutely
people
do.
might come along later and this, that,
Well,
and the other. Anyway,
bro, Joe,
support
don't
KP.
leave yet. Let me ask you. I'm going to make everybody on ear hear me. I think you do fairly well. and you get your point. I honestly give you a chance to talk. I disagree with a lot of what you say. I want to take up this subject that we talked about today, not today, but another day. So you keep calling in, but I want to ask you to go ahead, and I want right now I don't have any contributions. I want to see you contribute to this show in your name, and I'm going to tell folks I have this great conservative guy that believes in free speech, and he's going to do what's necessary. So brother, let your money do your talking. You know you have a voice here, brother. All right?
Thanks, Egberto. Have a
Have a
great
great
day.
You too, brother. All right. Anyhow, Sandy's with us. So before I get into big pharma, Sandy, do your piece.
My peace. Well, peace on earth, I hope, Egberto.
Well, I hope you want peace, brother. Hey, by the way, Sandy's
Of
our general
course,
manager.
of course. This is interim general manager up early with Egberto here. I really appreciate what Egberto does every morning, providing this venue for folks to call in and discuss really important issues in a way that's maybe different than other shows you might talk to that where these topics are discussed. Quite frankly, this is a bridge building show. Pontiff in Latin is bridge or bridge builder, and I think the term pontificate, building bridges in conversation, really applies here. This is really valuable to KPFT and valuable to our listenership. If you consume this show every day, consider that this 1 hour broadcast each year costs Pacifica around $5,200. So what we're looking to do during these fund drives is to make sure that each shift is, as our mission statement says, self-sustaining. So if you're a fan of this show, you consume this show, call in and donate to this show. And just a factoid here, Egberto, you can be the first today to donate. In the entirety of February 9th, your donation will be the first. Been a little quiet for a while. Break the silence. Support KPFT 713-526-5738 option 1 or kpft.org. A $120 donation gets you a bag of Lola Soprano coffee. It's this is the best. This is Colombian Supremo coffee, Egberto, and it comes with
Wow.
a Carolina Street mug. So you get the coffee mug combo, $120 donation, 713-526-5738. If you can join as a sustainer, a sustaining pledge, where you say, take $5 out of my account every month, never cancel it. I'll tell you when. It goes on year after year. Some people have been doing this years on end. $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever amount you decide. If you choose an amount of $20 or more, automatically, we're going to send you the coffee in the mug along with whatever premium you select from our thank you gift in this thankathon here in February. And you'll get both. Plus, if you join as a sustainer, your pledge will be matched by a very generous anonymous donation of $50. So if you do $20 a month, you're going to pick a gift, whatever that is, like a hoodie. You can qualify for that at that level. You'll get a bag of coffee and a mug, and your pledge will be matched with a $50 bill. So consider that, folks. Support community radio. We don't have commercials. We don't have much in the way of underwriting, although we're getting a little bit now. But principally, our support comes from these fund drives, which are 4 times a year. Our goal on this drive is $150,000, and largely to the sustaining pledges that we pull in at the beginning of the month, each and every month. Right now, we're 1/8 of the way to the goal after just 24 hours. It's pretty good. Just think about that. If we can keep that pace, we would be done in a little over a week. And you know what? I think we can do that if enough people just jump on board, dial the number 713-526-5738, option 1, and give $5 a month, $60 a year. For this drive, that'll be $110 because of the $50 bill that comes with it. If you can do a little bit more, so much the better. We're trying to make that $19,500 a month that we're currently receiving, or thereabouts. We're trying to get that to $26,200. $26,000. It's not an arbitrary number. It's half of our monthly needs. If we can get to half of our monthly needs with sustaining pledges, fund drives start to evaporate. Days, goals go down, days on drive go down. And a lot of people literally do not tune in during fund drives, so they're not hearing me. But if you're listening and you consume this show every day, or even some days, or other shows on KPFT, and you happen to be listening now on your way to work, maybe on your way home after working all night, make that call. Support KPFT and Egberto's efforts, please. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. What's happening at Egberto? I hope they don't take us off the ballot.
I hope they don't take us off the ballot, Sandy. And Sandy, when at the end of the fund drive at the end of the year, Sandy has to go through all. Look, he manages the station, okay? If you have to keep a station alive, you have to make sure that the programs that are there are the programs that people want, right? And the only way he has to identify whether a program is wanted or not is whether that program is supported or not. That's just the reality. If you were running the station, that would be the same thing. If you had 100 shows to manage, and you had a $60,000 a month budget, you had to figure out which of those shows are going to be able to pay the bill to keep all shows afloat. So this is not, what he's saying is absolutely true. And as all of us that are programmers that have shows here, yeah, we go into this thing about, I hope people want the show. And I can tell you one thing. I look at our numbers. We have ways to measure our numbers, and this is a show that has a very, very good listenership. So what we ask is for some of those listeners, carry the others. Look, not everybody can afford. There's a woman who called me one time, and she said, "I feel so bad. I'm on Social Security. I listen to you every day. I want to give to the show. I feel so guilty, but I can't." And I looked at her and I said, "You should feel absolutely no guilt, because you may not be able to pay or to call and donate, but you can make sure that we get another 10 listeners by saying, hey, guess what I learned at KPFT today, Politics and Right on KPFT. Guess what? You need to check this out. And that other person may be able to be a contributor to the show. Encourage others to support public media. Encourage others. El Señor Augie, we can always count on Brother Augie. Augie, thank you so kindly for being the first donor of Politics Done Right this morning. Let me, I want to say something about Augie here. Augie calls in and he donates to show after show after show. Okay? He does his part more so than he has to prime us, to keep us going. I want to thank you for that. I really want to thank you for that. I need to continue pitching, but Harry wants to say something real quick, and then we'll go back to some talking. Here, Harry, come on in real quick, brother.
Hello again, Roberto. This is for your GM, Sandy Wyman. I liked all the comments that he said about keeping this show going. And like I said, there are shows like The Attitude with Arnie Arnson, Democracy Now! And this is for Howard. If he can do this morning on the Great Wide Open, could you play Paul Hardcastle's Peace on Earth for your GM, Sandy Wyman? Because he's absolutely right. We have to have peace on earth. So I'm dedicating that to Sandy Wyman. If you can do that, Howard, play Peace on Earth by Paul Hardcastle.
Thank you, Harry. Hey, Sandy, man, you got a fan, Harry. Sandy. Sandy, you're going to have to do a little bit more, a little pitching for me. This guy called higher for you, dude. Come on in, Sandy.
Well, hey, look, I just want to comment. When Augie joined, he did join as a sustainer, and He joined at a level of $20 or more a month, and that's going to get him that coffee and mug automatically, in addition to whatever gift he picks. So a good combination right now. You know, the weather it's not summer yet. You'll know it when it's summer. It's not springtime yet. We're still getting some chilly weather. Get a hoodie from KPFT. They're nice and warm. I mean, I wear the thing all the time to the point where I've got to wash it a lot, but you know, that's just me. It's a really nice piece of clothing. It's got the KPFT logo on it. You can get that for that $20 a month pledge plus the coffee. What a wonderful combination. You got hot coffee to drink and a hoodie to keep you warm as well.
Hey,
But kidding aside, folks, you are the source of income. Go ahead, Alberto.
Sandy, I want to, why I tell you I love our audience is not because that, quite a few of our audience are going to give or will give, but that they put their money where their mouth is, and they don't necessarily give because I have to be 100% in agreement with them. Brother, brother Joe Big Oil just went ahead and gave a kind contribution. And to that, sir, I honor you. Thank you so kindly for supporting, even though many times you sit down and you say, like, damn it, Egberto. But I love you, man. Love all my peeps. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you, Sandy. Go ahead.
You know, the people of Houston power this station, and there's no denying Houston remains an oil and gas and energy town, the energy capital of the United States and maybe the free world. And there are many of our listeners that are involved, and I respect that. I too was in the industry as associated with companies that would supply mostly environmental equipment to big oil and others. But this is an industry, and we can, talk about global warming, something that's a problem, an issue. We can talk about, what happens when we burn hydrocarbons. Nothing really good comes from it. But these same energy companies are transforming themselves and will be leaders into the future. And Houston is a blueprint for the entire planet in terms of our makeup in this city. We should be so proud of what we have here. And in the middle of it is KPFT, community radio, commercial free, unbiased, where we can have these conversations. If that's not worth supporting, I really can't tell you what is in the media space. So important. So please make that call, and thanks for these pledges.
713-526-5738. Okay, folks, I tell you what, I'm going to get away from pitching for 5 minutes to talk about the big pharma issue because I want you guys to be aware. Yesterday in the Senate, three big pharma guys came up, and I'm going to do a video about this later on today. I may play the video. I'll play the video at another time here. But let me give you the gist of it because it's important for all of you to know this. And don't take my numbers exactly because I'm doing this off the top of my head since we had to do some pitching and stuff today. But here it goes. Three big pharma guys go into the Senate, and Bernie Sanders start to ask some questions. And he says to them, this particular drug in the United States it's a cancer drug, cost $191,000 a year. You heard that right. The cancer drug cost $191,000 a year. The price of that drug in Japan is just 13% of that. I think that comes out to about $18,000 or something per year for that drug in Japan. So Bernie asked the person, are you making a profit for that drug in Japan? Yes. So you are making a profit in Japan on a drug you're selling in Japan for $18,000 a year, a cancer drug. That same drug you're selling in the United States for $191,000 a year. And they say this with a straight face. You, the people that are listening to me right now, when many times we talk about these drug companies using all of our intellect, and by that I mean all of our intellect, you, me, whether it's your tax dollar, right? Whether it's your tax dollar or not, I want you to realize that you have already spent to research and invest in those drugs. And you know what? The guy tried to imply that we are subsidizing Japan. Now, remember, Japan's still making a profit on that money. Still making a profit on that money. I'm going to throw it to you in about 3 minutes. Still making a profit at that money. But we are going to pay 191,000. And then they said it's because we want to support innovation. If you listen to my show a few days ago, I spoke about all the innovators are on salaries. The people who are innovating these drugs, they get salaries, which means they're creating out of their intellect these drugs at a fixed cost. So anything, whenever a company tells you we are charging these exorbitant profits for innovation, no, they are charging exorbitant profits for the shareholder and the executive bonus. And you can look at the profit and loss statements and see it there. See how much is paid for in research and development. See how much of research and development is gotten via grants. See how much of the profit margin goes into marketing. And marketing is a dubious figure because within marketing, there's a whole lot of profit for a whole lot of other people. So I'm going to give you a better explanation of this when I get the video done for this particular thing that Bernie Sanders did yesterday in Senate. But without further ado, let me pass it right back to the studio, to the great folks out there, to our conglomerate of geniuses. Go ahead.
Egberto, we were talking about the memory bricks. We want to talk to the folks about the memory bricks that we have for sustainers.
Yes.
And I was out there, and if you go to our website at kpft.org, I was out there videotaping them putting those bricks in. It's a beautiful job. It's something that will be there, remaining there through the weather, through all time that you are supporting KPFT as a sustainer. And there's some very poignant things written on those bricks in memoriam to some folks who have gone before us. There's a radio dial on one of them. There's a dinosaur on one, and just people's personal messages to KPFT. Very touching. And if you haven't seen the video yet, go to kpft.org and check it out. Be a sustainer. Get yourself a memory brick. It's a permanent fixture saying you believe in public radio. You believe in freedom of speech. You believe in KPFT. So that's what I had to add to your conversation there.
Can you tell them how they can get the bricks?
713-526-5738, extension 1.
No, I mean the cost.
You make your donation. Oh, the cost. You know what? I think Sandy Weinman is still standing by here. Maybe he can help out with
here.
that. I'll pass the buck here.
Okay.
There you go, Howard. Pass the buck, Howard.
Okay. Sandy, here's your buck.
Okay, thank you. Actually, on our webpage, kpft.org, there's a nice picture of those bricks right as you open the page up. It replaced the Caroline Street studio picture we had before. These really are beautiful. And I want to thank Robin Lewis, who's coordinating this effort behind the scenes. She will call you and she will ask you, what do you want to write on this brick? There are two of them. There's a 4x8 brick giving you the chance to write, I believe, 4 lines of 26 characters each with a message, whatever you want to put on there. And then there's an 8x8 brick. It's $50 a month. So the small one is $25 a month. The big one's $50 a month. But consider $25 a month. It's $300 a year. Plus, we're going to get a $50 match. You're going to get that bag of coffee and mug, plus whatever gift you're going to get alongside of it. So in return, we've got some nice thank yous. But the biggest thank you, this monthly sustainer, I can't emphasize this enough. Think about this. If we had 52,000 people in Houston giving $1 a month each, our needs would be entirely covered, and we would be doing 1, maybe 2 fund drives a year for a couple of weeks. That's the power of this program. That's it, okay? So a lot of people complain about, oh, you're asking for money again. You guys are always asking for money. Well, yes, $52,000 a month is a heck of a household budget. Well, I'm largely a volunteer. Howard's our one full-time employee, and I'm not unabashed at saying he's employed at a salary level that would make the people over in Asia with the sneaker factories blush because the wage is lower than what they pay per hour. It's ridiculous. Folks, we need to fund KPFT a little bit better, but the Sustainer program is a way to really get the thing rolling. If you're going to make a donation, $5 a month, $10 a month, please consider saying yes to the Sustainer, getting the match incorporated. And if it's your event, you can do a $20 bill every month. You'll get the coffee, the mug, and whatever other gift you're going to get. The biggest thank you is free speech, commercial-free community radio, where we have people like Egberto from the community, people that have something to say. They have the music to play, like Clint Broussard, who was referenced earlier by your caller. We've got some wonderful, wonderful people that need a stage to perform on and a theater to do it in. And that is KPFT. That's what you're powering here. Get a brick, $25 a month, 4x8, or $50 a month for the 8x8, and join so many others that have done that. I think so far we've got a total of somewhere around 80 of these bricks either installed, ordered, or needing to be ordered. And you can join in with that. We want to cover up that whole front area here at 4504 Caroline with bricks. We want to brick up the entire front with names of people that support the station, that leave the messages. Thank you, Mr. V, who loves you. We do have a brontosaurus on one from one of our major supporters that lives out in Belleville. That he calls himself Bronto. So he put a brontosaurus on. Kind of clever. Okay. So you can put whatever you want and leave that in the ground for people to see for years to come, as Egberto said, and make a really loud statement with this. So far, we have 2 people that have stepped up and donated to the program, it looks like. A couple more of you, and we'll be at our modest $400 goal for this program each and every day. We're about $110 short right now. Maybe you can join in at $10 a month, satisfy the goal for the program, and add to the group of people sustaining KPFT. Thank you, Egberto.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Hit extension 1 to donate. Be sure to say that you're donating to KPFT for Politics Done Right for KPFT. 713-526-5738. Also included, folks, you can go ahead and for $100 contribution, you get the Politics Done Right T-shirt. The biggest thing that hit me one time was when I was I don't remember where I was. I think it was here. Actually, believe it or not, I wasn't here in Houston. I think it was when I was in Philadelphia. A Politics Done Right T-shirt popped up. I couldn't believe it, man. So I mean, I think the person was coming to Daily Coast now. I mean, we go there for our concert. But again, the T-shirt's $120 for our T-shirt. Again, the T-shirt's not worth that, right? It's the idea. It's a token of our appreciation for supporting the program. 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738. As Sandy just said, we're close to the goal. Let's see. Eric says 100 one time or 200 one time. No. When it's $120 one time for the T-shirt. For the brick, it's $25 per month. For the 4x4 brick. For the 8x8 brick, it is $50 a month. But you know what? We're telling folks you can give us a coffee a month, $5 a month. You can give us 2 coffees a month, $10 a month. Just call up, tell them you want to give $5 a month. Call up, tell them you want to give $10 a month. Whatever you want. I like to put it in the terms of coffee because I know many of you would say, you know what, Egberto, I don't mind buying you a cup of coffee. I'll get you a cup of coffee, and I like you. We can sit down and rap. So I'll get you a cup of coffee because I feel like I'm having coffee with you when I'm talking to you in the mornings, right? So give us a cup of coffee. Give us a couple cups of coffee. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Please do remember to put it in the name Politics Done Right so that Sandy can say, okay, Egberto, I think your show is making enough to stay on air. You know you got to make it, dude. You're here every morning at 5 in the morning. You better get those people who like the show to contribute. So I'm asking you so kindly, give us a call, 713-526-5738. You know, guys, this is really your show. When you come here in the mornings, you know it's your show. And you know two things. You know I'm going to work the day before to make sure I have a full show for you in case nobody calls in. But you also know if you call in, you take precedence. That is this show. That is who this show is for you. And for those on the chat, Eric knows that himself. He comes to our events both here on KPFT and at 3 o'clock, and he goes to Ask Egberto Everything and sometimes gives us hell. Right, Eric? So anyway, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. I only got 2 more minutes before I got to check this in. So are you going to make sure that I make my quota for the day? I'm about, let's see, I'm about $110 short. So anybody who calls in with a five, if 2 people call in with $5 a month, we will be in business. So I ask you so kindly, 713-526-5738. Give us that $5 a month. Give us that $10 a month. Or, look, if you can only give $20, just a one-time thing also. Look, I take whatever it is to keep us on air, and everything puts us a bit closer to the goal. So whatever you can, remember, we ask that you contribute on a voluntarily basis. If you want cable news, if you want all this other stuff, they tell you pay for it or you don't get it. Here we say, we ask you, if you can, please contribute, but you have a platform here where you have a say. Think about that. We are not only doing this voluntarily or asking you to contribute voluntarily, we are saying everybody has a platform here that you can come and be a part, that you are a part. That's who we are. So somebody call in 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. You can still do that. Even though I'm coming off of the air right now, you can still call and give in the name of Politics Done Right as I exit. My name, well, let me go to the studio, see if we have anything out of the studio.
We're good here. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, folks, thank you so kindly. Love you all. Callers and listeners, my name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. An Arizona state senator